Alright, so in this video we will be learning how to use the bisection method. And in this example, I will go ahead and show how to use the bisection method on a quadratic. And here we are given that a solution lies between the interval 1 and 2. So we of course know that x is equal to, of course, 1.414, and it's also negative. So how do we find a solution using the bisection method? Well, we could use the test points we were given, or we could use any test points within this interval. So we're going to choose x sub of 0 is equal to 1, and the second test point is going to be x sub of 2 is equal to 1.5. And we have to find what f of x is for each of these test points. So we have to find the y value, or f in this case. So as we see, 1.5 is going to be 2.25 minus 2 is going to be 1/4, but I'll just put it as 0.25. And f of x when x is equal to 1 is going to be -1. So we see that our y values are different since one is positive and the other one is negative. We have to find the midpoint and look at the y value's sign change. So we will use the midpoint formula. So we will have to get x sub of 3 is equal to 1 plus 1.5 divided by 2, which is about 1.25. And that gives us our next value to test, which is going to be f of x sub of 3, where we get negative 0.4375. And we will also make a little graph on the side. Let's just make it pinkish as it will be here to distinguish what our graph will look like. And we'll use the red dot as x sub of 3. So it is at 1.25, which is around the x-axis is here. And the y value, it indicates that it is negative 0.4375, so it's going to be down in this area. And we will now look at 1.5, which is 0.25, which is 1.5 is here, and 0.25 or 1/4 is here. And we have a y value of -2. So we will get a shape that looks like this. So that tells us that our solution is greater than 1.25 but less than 1.5. So here it tells us that we have to use the midpoint formula for 1.5 and 1.25, and by doing so we get x sub of 4, and we will have x sub of 4 is equal to 1.5 plus 1.25 divided by 2, and we get divided by 2 is 1.375. So what we will do now is look at the y value of x sub of 4, which will give us negative 0.109375. And as we see here, we have a negative y value, and x sub of 3 has a negative y value, so we cross this out because we're not going to use it anymore, as well as x sub of 0, since its y value is also 1, so we just cross that out. And we have a positive y value for 1.5, and we have a negative value for when x is equal to 1.375. So let's clear up some space and we will look at the next iteration. And now what we will do is look at our graph on the right side and put our points now. So we see that 1.375 is in this area of the y-axis. So what we will do now is mark that and its y value, which is negative 1 or negative zero point 0.1, which is somewhere in this area, and 1.5 is still the same and it doesn't change. So what we will do now is go ahead and find the next x test point we're going to use, which is going to be x sub of 5. And by doing so, we will have to add 1.375 is equal to 1.375 plus 1.5 divided by 2, which is equal to about 2.875 divided by 2. That will give us 1.4375. Now we have to find the y value of that, which is equal to 0.066. So now we see that when x is equal to 1.4375, which is around this area, is equal to 0.06. So that means that we have to get rid of 1.5 as our test point. So now what we have to do is look for x sub of 6, and what we will do now is have to add x sub of 5 and x sub of 4. So we get x sub of 6. So 6 is equal to 1.4375 plus 1.375 divided by 2, which is going to be 1.40625. And if we look at the y value of this, which is going to be about negative 0.022. And what we'll do now is look at XO4, which is basically giving us our negative y value. We just have to cross that out now because we don't need it anymore. And we will look at the next iteration using x sub of 5 and x sub of 6. So let's clear up some space now. So now what we will do is look for x sub 7, which is going to give us x of 7 is equal to 1.4375 plus 1.40625 divided by 2, and we will get, let's see, plus 1.40 divided by 2, it equals 1.421875. And now we want to find, and I forgot to mark our point here earlier, which we're pretty close to our solution actually. So now let's go ahead and look for y value of x sub 7. X sub 7 is equal to 0.021, which is positive. So we just get rid of x sub of 5 now and look for x sub of 8 because we're pretty close now. So we will have to add sub 8 is equal to 1.42185 plus 1.40625 and divide all that by 2, which gives us 1.41406. And if we look at f of x sub of 8, we will end up getting negative 0.0000427. And here we see that the little extra new red dot is basically equal to 0. So with that in mind, we can finally conclude that the solution is indeed 1.414. So what we can say now with certainty is as x approaches 1.414, on the other hand, square root of 2, f of x approaches 0. So that's it for this video, and thank you for watching.